We just started a superhuman law division, and I want the She-Hulk to be the face of it.
There are so many Marvel characters that fit right into the sitcom mold that it's frankly pretty surprising that She-Hulk Attorney at Law is the first time we're seeing the format tackled by the media giant. Waiting worked out in their favor, though. Jennifer Walters' plucky fourth wall breaks and extremely relatable fish-out-of-water antics as she navigates her newfound powers are a perfect fit for the shorter, funnier style of episode. Not a huge surprise here, but Tatiana Maslany navigates both Jen and She-Hulk with ease. Given her history on Orphan Black, where she juggled a wide array of characters, we know that's more due to her skill than it is the fact that She-Hulk isn't really an alternate personality. Unlike Bruce Banner, she doesn't have to contend with another hand on the wheel in Hulk form. She-Hulk just comes with all the confidence you'd expect out of a 6'7" gamma-powered superhero. But don't call her that, of course. The premiere gives us a crash course on how Jen became She-Hulk. But, more than anything, it's all about establishing her relationship with her cousin, Bruce, played by Mark Ruffalo. The two share an exceptional chemistry that you've already seen highlighted pretty heavily in the trailers.
Bruce, kind of feels like if I don't transform, I'm gonna die!
Director Kat Coiro and head writer Jessica Gao found balance between highlighting Bruce as the knowing mentor while keeping the first episode firmly anchored in Jen's story.
I just want to be a normal, anonymous lawyer.
The effects that fans immediately started dogging in that first trailer are much improved as well. While speaking to press earlier this summer, Gao called out that part of the criticism over She-Hulk's appearance is due to people believing that they can constantly comment on women's looks, and the take isn't entirely unfounded. Hulk looks more natural because Banner is allowed to have scruff and imperfections on his face, pulling from the flat matte look that he would have if men were expected to have perfect complexions at all times. Admittedly, She-Hulk may have looked a touch better if Maslany's makeup was applied practically and then blended digitally after the fact, but that change wouldn't have made much of a noticeable difference. The 30-minute sitcom format gave some fans pause when it comes to the overall importance in the MCU, but those fears can be put to rest. The premiere alone gives us some big answers when it comes to Bruce, Smart Hulk, and the progression of the Hulk gene. It's not a gene, you get the idea. So far as it relates to the varying reactions between Bruce Banner and Jennifer Walters. As a sitcom, She-Hulk has to work double time on the callbacks to give fans the feeling of connection to the MCU. But, given the show's format, none of them feel shoehorned. A Tony Stark joke here, a Steve Rogers quip there, a random spaceship comes out of nowhere. It's all a day in the life of your average everyday lawyer who just happens to be related to the Hulk, living her life in the MCU.
Lawyer show.
Ah! Most important to the format that the series has chosen, though, is the fact that it's friggin' hilarious. The fourth wall breaks aren't overused, and Jen's dry wit coupled with Bruce's earnestness gives some real opportunity for humor that Gao and Coiro made sure to capitalize on. Watching Smarty Pants Bruce Banner experience jealousy for the first time in his life while his cousin outpaces him in every way? Comedy gold.
Very good.
Just trying to show you.
No,
It's done.
I'm shown.
And perhaps unexpectedly, She-Hulk Attorney at Law captures the female experience maybe even more than previous female-fronted MCU entries. We've had some rock star lady heroes come our way in the MCU, but this is the first series that feels unabashedly and contemporarily female. We see you, Agent Carter, and we love you and we miss you. Don't worry, dudes. You've got plenty to laugh at along with here. But Jen's struggles as a woman in the workplace and in the world as a whole hit especially hard for those of us who have existed on the female-identifying portion of the gender spectrum. And by hard, I mean handled in the most hilarious it-happened-to-me ways possible.
Because being a superhero is a trial by fire.
She-Hulk Attorney at Law hits all the right notes as a sitcom while still nailing the beats you'd expect out of an entry into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Though the first episode is all the necessary run-of-the-mill origin story you'd expect, none of it is presented in a way that could be considered boring. And yes, the effects look better than the ones you saw in the first trailer. For more, check out our breakdowns on how the first She-Hulk trailer was missing her greatest superpower and why her fourth wall breaks aren't just for laughs. And for everything else, stick with IGN.